look at the prioritization of the Slayer game types, right? Let's not forget, Slayer's won Optic Gaming Orlando, you could say. And however, as we take a look at the game types in this series, Cloud9 controlled both of those Slayers in the end with great dominance. And we'll see now as we get ready for a second best of 7 between Optic Gaming and Cloud9. We wouldn't have it any other way. One more series for the title.
Well, starting off, we're going to go over to Recharge once more. We saw some Strongholds, but now it's going to be oddball. Strongholds, of course, went in the favor of Cloud9, but the interesting thing for me is map number 2, that's Slayer Catalyst. That is the map where back in Orlando, Optic Gaming won the chip. That's going to be a good sight for them to see. Just a little friendly memory, you know, just gets those good vibes back. Game number 3 is going to be Strongholds Live Fire. That's going to be fascinating when we get there. And we head over to King of the Hill streets, and you can all read at home, you can all read in the arena, you can see where we're going after that, but I'm not sure we're going to get right to the end. Although, you know what, actually, I'll take that back. There's a really good chance we're going all the way to Game 7.
Let's go all the way to Game 7 if we have our way here, and players now have to lock in and ice up for what may be a grueling second best of 7 between these two. They've been exchanging blows all series long, but really Cloud9 runs away with the first grand finals in a best performance we've seen from the C9 boys in quite some time. Let's take a look also at Bound versus TriPPPeY. Like we said, TriPPPeY and Lucid pretty close in terms of KD in this series so far, and they have been shut down in a way that's pretty uncharacteristic for the Optic Gaming team, and to be honest, uncharacteristic of players like TriPPPeY and Lucid at this late stage of the season. There's going to be a big focus, if we're honest, on both TriPPPeY and Lucid in this series, and the question of can Bound repeat what he did in the first grand final?
Yeah, I mean, the magnifying glass doesn't get any bigger than it does in a World Championship final, right? Your statistics will be picked away out. Even if you feel like you're doing everything right, when it comes down to those numbers, it's certainly going to tell a story. And Bound on the other side of things, he is relishing the situation. It's almost as if this is what the moment he was waiting for in the season, just to unleash what we've all been waiting to see. That is that perfect mix of aggression, but also knowing when to slow things down and help out teammates.
I mean, this is every Halo player's dream. Let's not kid ourselves, right? Make a name for yourself online, get picked up by a top team on LAN, and find yourself at a World Championship Finals where you just dropped a 1.46 KD against Optic Gaming, the heavy favorites. This is truly every competitive Halo player's dream. Bound is living it on the main stage right now alongside the rest of the C9 roster. They have been fantastic in these grand finals so far. Now they find themselves only 4 games away, but you got to think Optic's been locked in. They're going to get ready for this because when their backs are against the wall, often that's when they look their best.
And that's when you're looking to your leaders, right? That's like when you're looking to a man like Formal, someone who's been here before. He's been in those big series. He knows what it takes to mentally reset, to bounce back, to breathe some confidence back through some teammates. And on the other side of things, I can't think of many better tutors than Eco. If you're Bound and you're coming onto a new lineup and you're, looking to learn how to get into a grand final, to win a Halo World Championship, to win a major championship, Eco is the man that you go to. He knows everything there is to know about winning.
And especially if we talk about Eco, he talks about how when they go back in the lab after a tournament, there are very specific things they look at and they work on. Did we ever see that was the case in that grand final? Keep in mind, we saw Cloud9 get absolutely slapped by Optic Gaming in Orlando. It was not even close. However, it's a complete turning of the tables here so far in Seattle. Cloud9 clearly doing the homework to get ready for Optic Gaming, and they now find themselves in a bracket reset. Best of 7 for the World Championship trophy.
Well, the Optic Gaming fans certainly maybe been quieting down a little bit after that series, but if they're going to get back into it, they're going to have to get behind their squad now and lift them back up. For C9, the same could be said. If the crowd is behind them, can push them over the line, then maybe Eco, StelluR can pick up their second Halo World Championship ring.
The question is, what kind of wake-up call was that for Optic Gaming? Are they ready here in this second best of 7 after losing 4 games straight? Can they bounce back and bring it to Cloud9? Here we are, your second best of 7 at the Halo World Championship.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Whoever wins this best of 7 will get their hands on that World Championship trophy. We're starting off with the point of view of Formal. This man is going to have responsibility on his shoulders to mentor those players on his squad through these tough times. A win here for Optic, and all of a sudden, things change once more.
We talked about TriPPPeY here. Man on your screen with the camo needs to convert here alongside Lucid and put up the big numbers that we're used to seeing from them. But it's going to be 3 dead on the side of Optic Gaming.
Repulsor here for Lucid. Doesn't matter. 4-shot coming in from Pznguin. That'll be enough to take down Lucid. StelluR has the oddball immediately. back towards Pipe, and look at this perimeter setup already from Cloud9. They have got recharge locked down.
10 points on the board already here in ball. Like I said, Pipe's hold, nades are coming in. Bound does so well to only take minimal damage from those grenades. He needs to hold Whirlpool, but 2 fall, so he knows he is the lone survivor. He'll be taken down, 3 dead. StelluR's your last player alive.
Speaking of the lone survivor, he's gonna fall as well, so a perfect break comes in from Optic Gaming. 16 seconds, all the Cloud9 managed to muster up for what looked like some great map positioning. Now Optic have the opportunity to do the same to them. Shock rifle also in the hands of TriPPPeY here. He can make something work.
Yeah, it's also perfect timing there. They don't let really any points on the board here. Here we are tied just about 50. TriPPPeY picks up another one as well. That's 3 dead, 4 dead for Cloud9 again. Formal's your last player alive.
Formal should move in and pick up this oddball as well, and by doing that, you will see a lead exchanged here. It's a slender lead. Or maybe Cloud9 are going to shut it down. They cut him down at the pass.
Great pressure there, as you say. Formal thought he maybe was going to get away with that ball. Instead, the kills will be traded out. The ball will eventually be picked up by Cloud9 yet again.
Cloud9 with that ball back in pipes. A couple of trades means that Formal's going to have to wait here. A little bit of help to come his way. There is that help, and it's help in the form of APG. One of the most experienced players. He's been doing it for so long, but also he's never felt a repulsor before in Halo titles, and now he is.
1v1 here for Eco for just a second. Eco wins the 1v1 against Formal as Bound is spawning glass as well. That might be a few more seconds on the board for C9. Leading 30-15, TriPPPeY with his second camo of the game. Let's see what he can do here.
Very interesting here from Optic, but brilliant from Cloud9. I was about to say Optic allow ball time to go into the hands of C9. They focus their attention towards getting that camouflage, towards getting that power up to break. But C9 just fly across the map. They get the information and they eliminate TriPPPeY before he's even fired a bullet.
You can tell Bound is ready for this long haul push as well. Just watching glass, watching low gold, making sure that no one comes through. They will maintain the man advantage after this kill. Still 2 dead for Optic. Cloud9 is continuing to steamroll. They're up 59-15.
Bound just scarpering back as well. He sees the information, he sees the cross. His thought now is, I know where the push is coming from Optic. I'm trying to get into position to help my teammate. StelluR falls though. That means that Bound will not have the timing here. That will mean picks for Optic Gaming. 2 players picked off. Pznguin now is going to get trapped as well. 3 fall for Cloud9. Eco has that ball, but somehow, with all the kills going down, look at Eco. He managed to scrape up an extra 5, 6, 7 seconds to put Cloud9 in a great position in round number 1.
Yeah, and that 5, 6, 7 seconds, as you said, brings up to 82 points right now. They have 4 times the points of Optic Gaming. Optic Gaming needs to make sure they are controlling the map here in terms of kills, in terms of damage, and these key sight lines to get back into this round 1.
TriPPPeY got the ball in his hand, but this is somewhat of a transitional setup here from Optic. TriPPPeY wants to get that ball back to pipes, and that's why you're seeing that rotation now back towards the left shoulder of Formal. One shot here from Formal. And all of a sudden, the map's going to open up, make it 2. Eco, he's going to peek. Doesn't get deleted, though.
Let's see here. TriPPPeY still has ball on pipes. Look at Lucid, by the way. Lucid was just sitting elevator. He's still sitting elevator to pinch the batteries and Whirlpool and control angles. Now he's rotating into C to pinch the other way. Now look at the score here. 82-53. Optic Gaming clawing back.
APG shuts down Eco with that shock rifle, but my eyes are drawn to that camouflage. It was on the map a few moments ago. Did anyone manage to pick it up? I think it might have been Bound. I think it might have been shut down, so no one on the map now with the camo. C9 trying to make the break. Pznguin's going to get caught out by those frag grenades, though. The remote detonation comes in. Eco now finds himself on his own, and Optic Gaming are starting to rally back here.
What was just a 60-point lead is now just about a 10-point game here. C9 gets the first kill, they get extra damage as well. We might see this ball played in a moment if things get chaotic, but it's a nice win from StelluR.
StelluR is just locked in at the moment. Eco with his long-time duo picking up kills as well. Beatdown comes in to remove the shields. Eco there to clean it up. StelluR and Eco working simultaneously at the moment to clean up these kills. Nobody can deal with C9 at the back of this turbine.
My God, just perfectly timing bait and switches from Cloud9 there. They will keep the man advantage over Optic Gaming, 85-71. It's just a 14-point game.
Difficulty here for both teams. That ball is in such an awkward position.
Ball taken.
It's going to be Optic who pick it up. Players, and you know that the play call coming in from Lucid now is play tight to me. Make this as difficult as possible for Optic to be easy deaths here for Cloud9. C9 have to work away, but here comes the flank from Formal.
Bound does everything he can there. He tries to watch. Now look at the game. It's all tied up here at the 85 mark. Ball will be played bottom middle.
Ball gets reset. 2 minutes 25 left in this game. The next hold could be the hold that wins the game. Formal versus Pznguin. Formal with a huge 1v1 win.
What a comeback from Optic Gaming, as we said, down by 60. Essentially a 60-point straight run to get right back in this, though. 3 dead. TriPPPeY's your last player alive.
TriPPPeY should fall here to bound as well, but where is that oddball? Who's in position? One thing we do know from our point of view, of course, is that Bound gets that next power-up. He's got the camo, but we saw how quickly C9 were able to eliminate it. Bound needs to make a play.
Ooh, Bound shoots early on Lucid there. Lucid ain't always there. Oh, it's because Lucid's weak up top, of course.
Elusive. Look at him run away here.
Trying to get away.
Find him.
Oh, Lucid, he's not afraid. Challenges Bound, even though Bound has camo. Finally, that's cleaned up. Bound with great pressure. Almost gets taken down with the camo. We are still 1 point away here. Pznguin will grab that off of the 2 dead for Optic Gaming. It's a rotate all the way to back seat.
This is brilliant. This is something we're seeing more and more of now, using that triple stack just to give the cover from the spawners over elevator and towards the pipes. But the push now comes in from Optic. It's a little bit of a last-second push. Pznguin's thinking about a play ball, and C9 might have just gifted a setup here to Optic.
All 4 dead. Look at the clock here. Right now, you're going to see a lead change. Optic Gaming will take the lead here with 1:22 left. This could be the final hold.
Optic have the ball in their hands. The push has to come in now from Cloud9, and I don't think they're going to be able to get vision onto TriPPPeY. Optic take the first round in our second best of 7.
What a comeback from Optic Gaming. As we said, it was about 80-20 there, and somehow they win that first round. Maybe that's the momentum. Maybe that's the spark that Optic Gaming needed as they head into our second round of ball.
A comeback is almost, in my opinion, feels better sometimes than just a dominating win. It shows that you can put the pressure back onto C9. It shows that you can ask questions of C9 after losing all of those games straight in the first series. And now you're seeing maybe a little bit of desperation from C9. Optic have that camo. It's Lucid's time to step up.
I agree. I think you find that belief again. And speaking of belief, how about Lucid? 19-8 in this game. We talked about how he needed to step up in the second reset of the grand finals. He's 20-9. That last series was a wake-up call for Lucid. What a round 1. What a comeback from Optic Gaming.
Lucid in this first round has gone from almost anonymous in the first series to back to the monster that we know he can be. It's 2 more for him. He's 22-9.
My God, and if there was ever a question of his KD, as there was at the last series, he has answered in a huge way. He's 23-9. Let's get ready to go into an Optic Gaming listening.
Good check, guys. It's all good, all good. Checks on nicely.
Ooh, and just as we join them there, looks like a player will drop out on the Cloud9 side, so it sounds like it will be a reset there, and of course, not exactly what we hope to see in that second game. And just as we join that listening, Optic Gaming leading by a few points, but the bigger point is the fact that they're able to get that first round on the board. And like we said, maybe a little bit of belief. You see the Cloud9 can bleed in a very big way, and I couldn't agree more. I think that comeback win means more than a dominant round 1 win. I think that's the spark Optic Gaming might have needed after losing 4 games straight.
Yeah, completely agree with you. I think it's so important in those situations. We could have seen a lot of teams might have folded, right?
Yeah.
A huge lead for Cloud9. Everyone starts trying to make hero plays, but Optic, one thing they've honed in on is making sure that is never the case when it comes to those big moments. That's what brought them the championship back in Orlando, and you just saw there's something more about this Optic team. It's not just, you know, skill. It's not just teamwork. There's heart there as well, and there's a little bit more steel. I talked through the season about the battle scars that have been gained by this team, by this lineup. The close losses, the heartbreaking losses, the series which you felt Optic surely has to win, and they come out on the wrong side of. That teaches you more than just your game. That teaches you mentally how you recover from those moments, and Optic is showing they are here for the long series.
Absolutely. As we look back on this season, there's countless times where Optic was down by 10, 12 kills and a Slayer, and they brought it back. You heard mid-season Lucid in interviews talking about how they have specifically been looking at situations where their back is against the wall, where they have to fight out of tough situations, and how do they master that? This is the ultimate challenge, right? Here you are in the World Championship Finals. You just lost 4 straight in a tournament where you had only lost 1 game so far. That's an absolutely wild trend to have to follow now, and we'll see what they could do in the Grand Finals. But as we talked about, keep in mind, 2 out of the 4 wins that we saw from Cloud9 were Slayers in that last reset. They will continue to be a huge part of this series, and I think if APG can find the same numbers he's been putting down all weekend, Optic has a very good chance of taking the title, but it will not be easy.
Another thing to highlight here for Optic, who better to sit behind you, right? Who's going to give you that guidance? Who's going to be the grand final? Who's won so many championships, I can barely add it. I've gone back to numbers again. It's never a safe place for me to be. That's, of course, Lunchbox, right? He's been in these situations. He'll have the perfect words for his squad here just to refocus them ahead of this next game.
Absolutely. Whenever you hear the listening to such a privilege with a guy like Lunchbox behind him, like we said, whether they're down by 10 in a Slayer, it doesn't matter. He focuses them up on exactly what they need to prioritize. And when you've got the cool heads of all 4 players on Optic as well, they generally find a way to dig deep and bounce back. However, it was all Cloud9 in our first grand final. Optic Gaming showing signs of life, and you have to argue signs of life that they desperately needed after that first grand final. Question is, can they continue it on? It's 1st to 4 here in our second grand final reset.
We apologize, of course, for the little delay that's going on right now. The Halo has been so good, it seems to have caused a tech problem at the moment. One of the PCs has exploded or something, but hopefully we can get it underway as soon as we can. Which do you think is going to be the guy to spark one of these teams back into life?
I think it's got to be Lucid. Let's not forget Lucid's numbers. At the time of reset, we still have them. He was 24-9. He's back to the Lucid form that we're used to. We always see him dropping insane numbers, all the way to the point where we've kind of really come accustomed to that. 24-9 is an unbelievable stat line in a second grand final, especially after losing 4 straight. What a way to bounce back for him.
I told you numbers wasn't my strong suit.
Yeah, I was worried. When you started to handle the numbers, I was worried.
This one is not my fault. There is a correction from the stage referees, so it's going to be 94 points that Optic Gaming need. So just a 6-point advantage when the tech error came in. Cloud9 will need 100. So there's confirmation. You'll see it in a graphic pretty soon. That makes it official, although it doesn't technically because there was a graphic a minute ago.
Interesting there, though. That likely is why players were talking to station referees there, and a little bit of an extended delay here. You saw station referees behind each team. You saw Eco talking to a ref. You also saw APG as well. Likely the fact they wanted to check the tape, see exactly how much advantage there was. And as you said, only a 6-point lead. Optic will need 94. Cloud9 will need 100 in this round.
C9 managed to get that 100. We go to a round 3 where both teams will need 100. But if Optic get that 96 points, then all of a sudden, things are back in the favor of Optic Gaming. A little switch on the spawns as well to make sure things are fair here. But as we can see on our screens, we're back underway. And C9, well, they're feeling the pain at the moment. And StelluR will be the 4th player eliminated. And Lucid reintroduces himself to the grand final with a triple.
And what do we say? It's got to be Lucid here who steps up. He's doing it again. Incredible performance in that first game. Has to do a double grapple on the shock. It's not a problem. He will now control that weapon. And it's a solid start here for Optic Gaming.
APG in the feed as well. 3v3 on the map. Lucid turns away just the wrong second there, but makes that ball roll away as he does the Scholar bounce. StelluR's going to challenge. Lucid fancies a little bit of this himself, but StelluR manages somehow to hold on.
Lucid almost goes over the top there in a flashy play with the grapple. He'll eventually be taken down. That's 2 dead, so it's up to TriPPPeY and APG to lock down Pipes to goal.
Ooh, Eco sneaking behind enemy lines. Manages to pick up one. Pznguin's there for the support. And it looks like C9 have won the battle for Pipes. So you can see that off ball is going to be brought back towards Pipes from Bound. Last player alive now is Lucid, and you can see that Eco's already sniffed him out. Yeah, but right there, Lucid somehow gets a kill on top gold. Bound has to now chase that. Look at Lucid. This is how difficult he is to kill. Finally, he gets taken down by Bound, but it opens up some opportunity just like that. That's a perfect example of Lucid staying alive so that his team can push. Brilliant from Lucid, quite simply buying those extra seconds to make Cloud9 overextend, put themselves in positions where spawners could put damage down. And from there, C9 barely got any time on the board, even though they got 3 dead almost immediately. This time they charged down APG to make sure it take fresh 4 dead from Optic Gaming. But there's the respawn once again. The ball now back in the hands of C9, and they're scoring. And that is ticking up over that double-digit mark.
TriPPPeY tries to take advantage there, and eventually he will get the kill, but the ball should be rotated right now based on the position that we're seeing. Yeah, ball is rotated to C. That's a perfect rotate there for Cloud9. Formal might have the shock in hand, but he doesn't have the angles just yet.
He's got some help. And that's going to be in the form of TriPPPeY. The camo's up as well. Not sure who managed to pick that one up with the way that the kills have been going. You would expect it would be Optic, and that is indeed the case. It's 26-12 here. Optic Gaming have an opportunity to pick up the slays to create some space on the map, though. Lucid with that camo is going to pick up some nice shots onto StelluR to give a 2-man advantage on the map to Optic.
Also, Lucid, oh my gosh, he gets taken down! 3 dead, though, for Cloud9, even though Lucid falls. This should be an opportunity for Optic Gaming to get more points on the board. They're right now outslaying 20-14, and a few points away from tying the game as well.
Yeah, pretty significant if you look at it like slays, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the amount of time that has actually gone, but Cloud9 starting to answer back now. Lucid left on his own. And Lucid, once again, somehow left on his own, manages to at least get a kill, take someone down to the grave. But C9 with the break. They have the ball in their hands. And now you see Pznguin getting a lot of information, but unfortunately for him, it's too much information. Two players fly at him and make this a more comfortable position and hold him for C9.
The timing there was much better from C9. Even though Lucid was the last player alive, they kill him really quickly. They grab the ball right away, and they're able to then play the ball. That will give Cloud9 a little bit more of a substantial lead in the comeback. They're up 36-21. Eco, one of the last two alive, though, on pipes.
Reminder that Optic Gaming only need 96 points here as well to close this game out. It'll be the full 100 for Cloud9. At the moment, it's looking like Cloud9 have control of pipes. It's somewhere where you always want to be focusing your attention for a team, because that is where that ball will ideally be brought up for that setup. That is where you're going to deny those lines of sight and be able to hold that old ball without too much of a challenge. But C9 do get challenged. Optic, they take control of pipes now, and with that grapple, TriPPPeY's going to bring that ball back to elevator, but Pznguin manages to cut it down.
Wow, Pznguin stays alive. Not only that, he goes from top gold to get the angle to kill the ball in Whirlpool as well. That will still give Cloud9 a man advantage. Bao now flies in. Everything having to do with Pznguin's play there. 3 dead, though. Optic Gaming responds right away. Pznguin is your last player alive. Again, it will finally translate to time for Optic Gaming. They're down by 10.
The first pick, though, once again, is going to be Pznguin. Eco's still in the death screen, though, meaning it's a 3v3 on the map. With how Optic is set up at the moment, there's going to be multiple BRs onto StelluR as he tries to make his move in. Bound finds one. Formal will take him down as well, and even though he's got an objective in his hand, Formal is not adverse to killing everything around him.
3 dead here. Pznguin's your last player alive. Formal, of course he gets the stick, and that will be a rotate here for Optic Gaming. That stick is huge. As we said, the last player alive, you cannot let them continue to do damage. Optic Gaming will now go into the lead here, 45-36.
Sheer Halo brilliance there from Formal. Managing to pick up 2 kills initially while having that old ball in his hands, and then turns his attention with no shields. Completely cuts off the opportunity for C9 to push through towers with that stick. But still a lead here for Optic Gaming. Cloud9 trying to get themselves into a position to get that old ball back with a 2-2 split across the map at the moment. APG versus Eco is massive. Forward picks up one as APG wins that fight.
TriPPPeY with the immediate play ball there. I love that from TriPPPeY. He's taking no chances. Even though the pressure was light, they play the ball immediately. These are the World Championships. You don't risk your play balls. 3 dead for the side of Cloud9 for a moment. Optic Gaming will continue scoring 65-36.
All of a sudden, that score is starting to tick up faster and faster. If you're a C9 player and you're a C9 fan, you see it getting further and further out of your reach, but here comes the break attempt. 2 dead, 3 dead, making Lucid the last player alive, but as we know, even though he's got an op ball in his hands, this guy is difficult to finish off. Bound will get there alongside StelluR to make sure he's taken out quickly. Now C9 have the ball in their hands, and not only that, look at the setup they've got.
Yeah, 2-man advantage as well. Formal has to fight out of this against Pznguin. That's a big 1v1 to get control. And look at the damage on Eco. He can't stay alive, however, the damage is done. It should be an opportunity for Optic to play off the back of that.
A lot of the time we talk about the likes of Bound, we talk about the likes of StelluR with that shock rifle. Eco's got it in his hands now and he needs to make it work. He chases down APG. Couple of headshots here from Eco, and all of a sudden this round gets completely blown back out of proportion. And Pznguin gets the power up as well, so C9 are fully locked and loaded. And they might be inching closer to maybe turning this one over.
Look at the rotate as well. The ball is played by Bound onto double stacks. It's a great play. They're just going to set the ball down as they start to lose the man advantage. Pznguin with a lot of pressure here.
Still has that camera to play with. Reminder that Optic getting closer and closer to that magical mark they need to take this round, and of course to take this game. There's a little tickle on the shoulder from the shock rifle of TriPPPeY. TriPPPeY's going to turn his attention to the ball, but maybe it wasn't the time to do it because the pick down comes in. Optic Gaming find themselves 2 dead. Pznguin moves in on that op ball, and all of a sudden C9 have control here.
Oh my God, what a comeback from C9, down by 20 or so points earlier. Pznguin's able to stay alive. Eco also gets a double kill, and based off that double kill alone, this could be the round.
This could be the round. StelluR set up on this head glitch as well. A trade from Bound is brilliant for C9. It's 10 points for C9 to tie up this oddball game and send us into a sudden death final round.
3 points to go here, 97 on the board. Pznguin likely just gonna hold this, maybe play the ball off himself.
99.
Here, 99, 100. Cloud9 will tie the game, and we will go into a sudden death, round number 3 to decide game 1.
Round number 1 was a crazy comeback from Optic. This time it's C9 who make that comeback themselves. We're straight back into the action though. Cloud9 looking about to maybe get some entry damage here for them. 2 players weak from Optic, but none of them being able to be taken down as 3 dead for C9.
It's a great opening from Optic Gaming here. TriPPPeY's also going to have camo. He's had camo to play with a lot in this game. Now he's also got the shock in hand. Let's see what he can do.
TriPPPeY just looking for targets at the moment, looking for anyone they can cause a problem to. Pznguin's going to get that information. Smart decision here to grapple away and keep that shot camo in their hands. Smart, because you can do things like that. Eco's going to peek. In the words of Clutch, he's not going to learn.
24-0 already here. Optic Gaming looking good in round number 3, the sudden death round. Let's go to an Astro listening with Optic Gaming.
Make it red. Watch out for
Battery, show you have batteries.
Option, 2 dead. That's 1 dead.
Watch out, battery. Watch out, batteries.
Chase like that. Yeah, that's fine.
After 2 dead, guys.
Yo, toss it out, Joey. Go. Fight, Joey. Fight. Absolute. One here.
Pznguin's absolute.
Save that screen, guys. Save that screen, guys.
There's top there. Bound is on ball.
One tower, 2.
Alright, yeah. Wait, pitch go.
Bottom tower.
Pitch go. Let's get ready, guys. Hold on.
We're going to go that ledger.
Watch out.
Neither.
Let's go.
StelluR.
2. All there.
Okay, Cam 125.
One guy over there.
We got a nice lead. Let's set up a push here.
Let's play back.
Everyone, Joey.
Stay left.
Nice
spread.
Gold and
very weak. Nice bench it.
Top tower. What's bond?
Yo, stay left, Tom. They're gonna be gold. Come in.
One shot. Sitting on
Here, camera. Yo, sneaky. StelluR weak. Half pound. Strong. Stairs.
Give us that, guys. On tower right now. Turn to you.
Nice shit, Tommy. 2
Play the ball. No, we have it.
I hear that. One ball.
Ball's on tower.
Ball's alone. He's gonna put Joey.
Top cap. Very weak. One shot.
Well, back in the game, and it's Optic who have a lead, but it isn't a significant one. 37-22 the score, but TriPPPeY has been in control of those camos.
He really has. He's been on top of them there. Of course, him and Coach Lunchbox working together to control that power up, and there he converts. He gets the stop on the ball and Whirlpool, and they will continue scoring.
Lucid trying to find that green gun. A new home, and he's looking for the body of a couple more players here from Cloud9. The lead is starting to grow, doubling up on the time that Cloud9 have managed to put on the board here with the rotation here from TriPPPeY. That's going to force bodies from Cloud9 towards him. Optic lose 3, APG last alive.
Like I said, once again, not risking the play ball. TriPPPeY throws that off, even though the shots were not coming in. There was not immediate pressure. He plays the ball perfectly, doesn't risk anything. They will stay in the lead, 53-22.
Great defensive nade from Formal. Had no right to win that one. Bound though, another double kill for him. Maybe this is the time for Bound to step up.
Bound still leading on the team, 21 kills to his name. Right now being outclassed though by Lucid on the other side of the stage, and that's the player matchup we were talking about. Lucid versus Bound right now. Lucid with the slightly more impressive numbers and the lead on the scoreboard as well.
Great thing here for Optic Gaming fans and for Optic Gaming themselves is the fact that with this lead and just under 3 minutes left in the game, they don't have to be too concerned about that oddball. They can play a little bit more slay heavy. They don't have to try and force anything. However, with 3-4 dead, shock rifle and the oddball, no reason not to pick it up at this point.
Great map management, great game management from Lucid there. He's gonna grapple the ball, just swoop right into the pipes area. It's another one on Pznguin as well. Also grabs the shock. Now they're going to lock this down. As a reminder, this is 1-1 off of the reset. The winner of this round will win game number 1.
Now going to be last alive here. It's a fresh 4 dead.
He's grappling everything.
That, he gets that camo back in his hands. Camo, shock, Lucid set up for success here.
It's one of the first times on the HCS main stage that we have seen. Whoa! Should get this coming Pznguin as well. That's one of the first times someone has grappled the ball and the shock and the camo. Just locking down this map. 10 points to go.
If Lucid hits a couple of shots here, Optic will go up by 1 in this series. Only 5 seconds or so left for Optic to close out this final round. 1 shot from Lucid, and it will be the game. Optic answer back. Life being shown here in the second best of 7 from the green wall.
And who did we say had to step up? It always had to be Lucid. There was only one man. He goes 27-19 in the end, and he's right back in this grand final.
You always felt it was going to be a matter of time until he introduced himself. Well, he's picked a fine time to do it for Optic Gaming fans. The first game in the second best of 7 in our grand finals goes over to the green wall. and all of a sudden their superstar has re-emerged as the player to watch.
A big boost for Optic in the green wall here. They needed that game number 1 after 4 straight losses. If you're just joining us, welcome to the grand finals of the Halo World Championship. It's been an unbelievable tournament so far, an unbelievable grand final, and I am loving this here. We are locked in for a second best of 7. The players on the main stage are locked in for here one final best of 7 as we take a look at some of the highlights from that game.
The shock rifle once again on recharge. It seems to be the thing that controls the narrative, the pace. With how talented everyone is with the weapon now, it's almost as if that is the swing, right?
Yeah.
Because you know a headshot's going to come in, you know that's going to be your pick. And towards the end of that game, the damage being done by Lucid, who also had the camouflage, of course, was just something that C9 could break through. This is the replays, of course. This is how close that first round was, but it was the comeback that was so impressive from Optic.
A few things that were once again so incredible to me. It's power-up control from the likes of Optic Gaming. They get camos. Even if those camos are burned or do not convert, they are still controlling those camos. Also great rotates that came in from Optic Gaming. And in the end, it was just great slaying control. If you look at the end of that last round, Lucid and ABG were both 1 kill away from a killing spree when the game ended. That is beautiful control from the team.
Overall, and you can see as well that Optic outslaying C9, not by a huge margin, but just enough to get the time that they required. This moment, though, at the end of the game, this is where Lucid just took over for a few seconds. Sometimes it's not about just getting the kills. It's presence, it's damage, and keeping that oddball player safe.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, because they're grappling everything up in here.
Really
Lucid
are.
is just grabbing whatever he wants on the map and just locking down, showing up, as we said, in a big way in our second grand final, and the boys are happy to be back on top. The question is, can they do it 3 more times against Cloud9, which seems like an unsurmountable task given what C9 offered in the first grand final. Here's a look at your best of 7.
Let's look at this best of 7 then. A reminder to everyone as well, if you're just joining us, Optic won the first game in that first best of 7. Then it was all Cloud9 for back-to-back games to send us into this bracket reset. He's back. He's back, by the way, Lucid. That game number 1 was that's the reason you want him on your show, put it that way.
Exactly it. He's back. The Lucid fans are back, and for a very good reason. Packed house here in Seattle. It has been an unbelievable championship Sunday, and that trophy will sit here on the catwalk of the stage. Quite a far distance, if we're honest, from the players, not just in terms of distance, but also in terms of games.
Yeah, a lot of time left in this series, but I want to talk a little bit about our next game type as well, because I mentioned happy memories, and that's what it is for Optic Gaming, right? This is where they won that Orlando major. Catalyst, StelluR, TriPPPeY and Formal combining for those final couple of kills to take down Cloud9. Now, if you want to rekindle that kind of memory, all of a sudden, 1-0 up in the second best of 7, you start to feel like maybe this series is leaning back towards Optic. But C9 have already proven that stealing any kind of game away, especially one where they've beaten you on before, they'll be back in the lab. They would have looked at that film and they will be prepared for this game.
Couldn't agree more. I think whatever you were expecting of C9, take that, crumple it up, throw it in the garbage, right? Because even though we saw them lose early on in the tournament, a Game 5 to Native Red on the receiving end of a reverse sweep, we now see them not just on Championship Sunday in the Grand Finals, but truly on what could be World Championship form if they can repeat what we saw in that last series. And I think they're pulling out the last surprises, all the tricks up the sleeve. They saved them for last.
Yeah, and let's remember that first series, right? The Slayers. How strong did Cloud9 look in those Slayers? My goodness, it was almost as if Optic did not have an answer, but now maybe they've come up with something in the break between the series to try and counteract what Cloud9 brought to the table. It's time for us to get into our next map. Catalyst is going to be the setting.
Question is, can Optic Gaming change the narrative in the Slayer department? They lost both Slayers in that first best of 7. That was a huge reason why we saw the bracket get reset. This is an opportunity for Optic Gaming to not only win a Slayer, but also go up 2-0 and only be 2 games away from the World Championship.
I mean, we've already seen Catalyst once today. It was capture the flag in that first series, and that was an absolute banger. Let's hope that this game matches up to it. Maybe the pace isn't going to be the same, but the intensity and the meaning behind every single kill and every single death is going to be amplified even more.
Absolutely. Here, off the opening, we'll see where the damage goes. Lucid trying to play this slowly, has to be very careful of these grenades as he's pinged down to no shields.
0-0, 20 seconds gone. And now you can see the information being gathered by Bound. He could be the first kill of the game. That's massive because that pick means it's a 4v3. Plus there's an overshield about. Lucid has the green gun, but he's not going to be able to hit the damage. Another beatdown comes in from Bound, but he doesn't get the kill!
Bound turns away, thought he had the kill. In the end, they come away with a little bit less than they maybe had suspected. because of that, it stays 4-2. And Optic Gaming, you could argue, get away with a little bit of murder to keep the game within 2.
Yeah, a little bit different situation for Cloud9. I think they'd be a little bit more pissed off if the fact that they didn't come out of that with at least a 2-kill lead. For now, though, they'll take it. It's a 2-kill lead. But with a minute gone in this game, it's only 6 kills. Now, if you were expecting a fast-paced game type here, you were mistaken. Every single kill and death here on Catalyst can turn into a 3 or 4 kill swing. That is why you are seeing the game played at such a slow and steady pace.
Great example there of Bound not overextending. Earlier in the year, you might have seen him get taken down there. However, instead, in this situation, knows exactly when to double back and not get taken down. The damage is big, though. Here he comes.
Bound doesn't need to be asked twice. He gets the damage, and now he flies. The rest of Optic are weak as well, and now you see the flank come in from Bound. He's trying to finish off the kill onto Lucid, but now he has to change his trajectory. Lucid, once again, proving how important it is to stay alive.
Look at Lucid there. He's finally likely going to be taken down. That will be a trade. Bound picks up 1, though, in the end. And Cloud9 leading by just 2 kills. Yet again, Optic staves off the Cloud9 advance.
Get the feeling that in that situation, Bound was just desperate to have a frag grenade, anything but a plasma. It would have been so much more easy just to flush him out. Here comes the push down from Optic. But Eco, and alongside his teammates, was ready for that one. Lucid, though, he's staying alive just long enough to re-challenge TriPPPeY with 2 as well. And Optic go into a 1-kill lead. Make it 2 as TriPPPeY adds to his tally.
Look at that 10-8 here, and it's an overshield for Optic Gaming as well. Formal now with everything in his hands. Pulse rifle, overshield, and a 2-kill lead. If they get the right damage, they may collapse here.
And the information he just got, I was going to say, he knows Bound's waiting. With that green gun, Bound decimates the overshield for Optic.
Formal taken down. What a key timing there from Cloud9 to take down the overshield player, and Formal nonetheless. TriPPPeY's taken down as well. 2 dead for the side of C9. They will tie the game and go back into the lead themselves. 12-11 now.
Wow, what a sequence that was. Let's just rewind for a few seconds as the players come back into the map. First of all, Formal gets the information. He saw the plasma pistol in the hands of Bound. He gets that information. I don't even think he expects Bound to almost do something as crazy as slide straight at him with the damn thing. He hits the shot, and off the back of that, Cloud9 collapse, and now you can see a lead going back and forth between these 2 teams. The speed of this game is slowly starting to pick up, 14-13. With a skewer here, that could be tied up very quickly from StelluR.
Optic Gaming back into the lead by 1, but as you say, just back and forth between these 2. And with Cloud9 trailing by 1, but skewer in hand. Let's get into an Astro listening with Cloud9.
He's our top shoulder high.
And one in the pit, one in the pit.
We're almost literally 1 shot. No, need it, Kevin. Need the pit, need the pit. He's just top pit.
Bring him flank, bring him flank, bring him flank.
Yo, low pit.
3 here, 3 here. 1 weak in the pit.
15 seconds, guys.
Need it. No, 4 came low, guys.
2 guys top, 2 top as well, 2 top as well.
2 left.
2 above you guys, you gotta go.
In the pit, Lucid, in the pit.
They're gonna go low.
It has grapple, Grapple.
Trying to get combo, maybe?
Yo, bottom sword, on your sword, bottom sword.
Yeah, I'll put that. I'm trying to get on. 2. Wasn't it living?
Can we look high? Can we look high?
He's aping.
Lives in.
Low in the right corner, Everyone come not in the right corner anymore. Lucid, Tommy had screw over there. Screwing, yeah.
2.
Three got sword.
As he jumped back into the game, Pznguin is facing down a swarm of Optic players. He goes for the challenge, but can Eco clean up these kills?
3 dead here for Cloud9. It's a perfect timing push there. Every single player on Optic Gaming on the same page. That will now give them a sizable lead. It's 23-17 in what has been an otherwise back and forth slayer. Optic Gaming starting to pull away here, and one thing we have to highlight. Really rare to see. Pznguin 1-9 in this game so far. He will need to turn that around if Cloud9 is to stand a chance.
He had such a strong first best of 7 as well, so this game just not going his way at the moment, but how quickly that can change. 23-17 your score. Pretty dominant lead here for Optic. As Bound once again with that plasma pistol in his hand, he's looking to just see the outline of an Optic player. If he can strip away their shields. That might be the damage they're looking for to push.
You can tell Optic Gaming, now they have this lead, they're really happy to just play the advantages, play these really obnoxious 90-degree angles, but the first picks do get traded out.
Here comes the push as well. You can see Bound wants to push the pace. C9 wants to push the pace, but they're just falling one by one into the traps being set here by Optic. It's great patience by Optic. As we see APG now having to hold off another push coming in from Cloud9.
And also, it's great timing from Optic as well. Now they're up by 8, might be more. Yep, it's 9, now make it almost 10. And Overshield popping in 10 seconds. That could be the dagger.
Overshield, as you say, the next focus for both teams. You have to wonder if there's a grapple in play, maybe to steal this one away, or maybe Formal's just going to walk across the light bridge, slam it into his chest and decide, I'm going to end this game now. I want to end this game quickly. 30-20, a 10-kill advantage. As Formal will make it more, he finds a TriPPPeY! Penguins in front of him. Formal, oh, he almost got them all.
Oh man, you might even think TriPPPeY almost might have gave it to him there, but this is a world championship. They take all 4 down. Now they are up by 14 kills. Overshield in hand for Formal, as you say. He's grabbing that OB like he wants to grab that world championship trophy.
And as these kills start to pile up, the chance here in Seattle, the volume starts to increase. The Let's Go Optic chance starts to begin. The crowd starts to believe once more in the green wall as they're up 39-22.
My God, here. And this is just a blowout here in game number 2. It would need to be a miracle from Cloud9 to bring this game back. 5 minutes on the clock, but it feels like Optic Gaming firing on all cylinders.
Formal has caught fire in the last few moments. It's another kill for Formal. Currently sat at 10-7. He had a very slow start to this game as well. But 7 kills to go. I mentioned how Catalyst, especially StelluR, has been a very happy hunting ground for Optic Gaming. This is the map where they managed to win that first championship for Lucid and for TriPPPeY. Is this going to be the map now that puts them in a position where they can start to believe they can be Halo World Champions?
Couldn't agree more here. That might be, as we said, that game 1 they needed it, and now they look even better in game number 2. Just 4 kills to go before they close it out.
Lots of talk about Formal's performance, APG, Lucid, but it's TriPPPeY who's taking over in this game number 2. TriPPPeY's currently sat at 15-5, the man is positive 10, as Optic only need 1. Oh, and he closes it out with 3. Steak is on the menu.
A steak dinner, a 20-kill win from Optic Gaming. We said they needed to step up in the Slayers, and they did just that.
Optic start to believe. The crowd start to believe. 2-0 in the series now to the green wall. 2 games away from being your champion. C9 got some pressure on their shoulders now. They've been the one who have asked questions of Optic. The question is there enough in the tank now for C9 to really challenge what has been a strong start to this bracket reset?
That is the question, and questions, as you say, certainly asked of Optic Gaming after that first grand final, and they only had about 5 minutes to reset. As we take a look at some of the highlights of the game, look at the opening here from Cloud9. They had everything. Overshield, the push, the man advantage. But somehow Optic makes the most of it, mainly because Bound looks away on that melee battle.
This is the moment for Bound, though. You saw it. That's where Form was like, okay, I don't have to worry about Bound for a second. You do have to worry about Bound for a second. He flies in, he manages to rip that overshield off, but from there, that was pretty much the only good thing to talk about for Cloud9. One by one, they were getting picked off. And it was just down to that patience from Optic, right? They were always in great positions to get that first pick. Playing nice and close, and when you got Formal doing this, you don't have to worry too much about anything else.
And they're just flying forward there, and amazing control, amazing teamwork, and timing pushes coming in from Optic Gaming all game long. They are just absolutely running a clinic, and it is not every day you see a steak dinner on the main stage. That's a 50-30 win. And as you said, can we talk about TriPPPeY for a second? Because when we talk about questions being asked, we'll go to his POV in probably just a second as he closes out the game. He'll end it with 3, the Steaktacular, and TriPPPeY will go 16-5 to end the game. After the first grand finals, we were like, where are TriPPPeY and Lucid? They have arrived. Taking a look at the series layout so far, the green wall starting to get reconstructed here, brick by brick. 2 games on the board. I'm starting to believe Lucid doesn't lose 1v1, certainly not in a grand finals reset.
I mean, technically true, won the show match a little bit earlier in the year against Renegade. We'll have to see if he can continue with the fighting form we've seen in the last couple of games, but like you say, the duo for so long, Lucid and TriPPPeY, all of a sudden they're coming back to life. But as we look at this, let's think about this, right? Before that bracket reset, Lucid was missing. We were talking about Bound. How that has turned on its head.
This is the first time I've ever seen a stat card put on screen and the crowd cheering for what they just saw. Earlier today, only about an hour ago, Bound was on a 1.46 KD and Lucid was on a 0.85. That has completely flipped. Lucid now in control of the grand finals and Bound with his back against the wall, down 2 games to 0.
Incredible. Just what a reset can do, what some new game types can do, what a little break can do for the psyche of a team. Lucid knowing he has to be that man to step up. He has to be the MVP. If Optic want to come through this, and TriPPPeY, he's dragging him through this series as well. He's saying, don't forget about me. This isn't just a Lucid show. All 4 players from Optic have returned to form at just the right time as C9 returned to the stage. I'm sure there was a serious team talk now for the guys that you can see on your screen.
That's right, as we said, keep in mind, of course, Cloud9 returning to the stage. In all these series, they do have optional breaks that they can take for water, etc. And that's also probably a tactical timeout from them, if we're honest. A little bit of a mental reset opportunity. We talked earlier about Lucid and TriPPPeY being in a 1.28 KD coming into this series. They were negative out of the grand finals #1. And then how about TriPPPeY doesn't just go up to 1.28, he just went more than triple positive, 16-5 in a StelluR, right? This is a completely different story for both Lucid and TriPPPeY. Those were our players to watch. So far, they have stepped up and they know what's at stake here in the grand finals.
Well, 2-0 is where we find ourselves, and I'm going to say, if that was a game type, if I had to pick a winner out of any of the game types that we saw, I think that's probably one of C9's weakest. I think the fact that it is such a slow pace, that you have to be so methodical, that you have to at times essentially do nothing, just doesn't work with the natural game plan that C9 like to put together. However, the opposite can be said about our next game type. Strongholds on live fire.
Yeah.
Boy, you can fly. And boy, can you make plays.
That's right. You cannot play this game type slow whatsoever. This will be a demanding game type. It will be a grueling game type. And it will be very different from what we just saw in that game #2. This will be pedal to the metal. And these players will be tested at a very high speed for the entirety of the game.
Time to refocus for all these players. The gameplay just moments away now. For C9, it has to be a turnaround game for Optic. It might be one more step towards what almost feels like destiny for so many fans at home. Live fire is where we're going. It's time for some Strongholds action. It's game #3 of our second best of 7.
These two teams, what a fight it's been already. Our first grand finals reset in the entire year in any HCS major. How perfect to have it here in the grand finals of the Halo World Championship, game #3. About to get underway. Optic Gaming only 2 games away. C9 needing games on the board if they want to stay alive.
I see this game type, I see this map, and I see some of the incredible plays we have seen throughout this year. The question is, are any of the 8 players that are on our stage right now going to be able to create something we are talking about for a long time to come? Off the break here, you see Optic strategy, fly towards B. Early scoring has to be their thought process.
Yeah, kills being traded out there. They will get B right away. They will put points on the board. You saw Formal's KD all weekend long, 1.46. Pznguin, though, able to fly in there and get the back whack on back mud. That'll be 2 dead for Optic Gaming. TriPPPeY needs to stay alive here at Pillars.
Stays alive because he knows that StelluR is going to be able to access that overshield. The kills time perfectly, which means that now you're going to see the ends of the map being played by Cloud9. They're flipping over A and C. Don't be surprised to just see them control the overshield side of the map and try and trap the rest of Optic Gaming over at B. The push from Optic is in on C. That green gun's doing damage, but StelluR answers back.
Yeah, StelluR makes sure to just bait and switch just a little bit there. TriPPPeY with a great green gun to take off StelluR's overshield entirely. Formal still has one. He's still getting noob comboed. Formal just staying alive back tower. He should be cleaned up. He is in the end. Triple cap for Cloud9.
Brilliant from Cloud9. The perfect start. They've got the weapons as well. Eco in the firing range right now. Can he find some targets? He hits one body and that's good enough. He has the information and now the rest of his team with the numbers and damage can push. Bound doesn't need to be our side. Flies in immediately.
Absolutely. There takes down Formal. Lucid tries to push it. Eco punishes him with a spike and a no-scope as well. 4 dead still for Optic Gaming. This is complete control from Cloud9.
Now the attention turns to C. The dummy spawn came in, which means the Optic will be trapped over at the tower. Formal lucky to keep his head on his shoulders for a few seconds there. This time he gets bodied, but there's the nades coming in. Great team fight, great push coming in from Optic.
And now with this dominance here from C9, 78 to 17. Lucid starting to heat up though. Hold the phone. 3 dead just as quickly as we say that, and that's what this man can do with the sniper rifle. Over shield popping up as well.
Bumble gets an important kill. Bound's gonna be sliding now. Oh, narrowly misses that shot there, Lucid. Big responsibility for him to keep this overshield competitive. For Optic Gaming, not only is he going to be competitive by the looks of things, it's going to go in their hands as well. Bound eliminated by Lucid. That tower play, perfect positioning from Lucid, perfect shots. And now Optic are right back into this game. They have a triple cap themselves.
Look at the Lucid and TriPPPeY duo here. They're grabbing the overshield. They're hitting all the shots. Playing together since 2016. They only secured their first event win less than 1 month ago at the Orlando Major here. Finally will be taken down, but it's a great run from TriPPPeY. Optic Gaming still scoring, and they're right back in this. They're only down now by less than 20.
What a great start it was for C9, but what a great response it has been coming in from Optic Gaming. Showing the heart we know they have, but C9 also showing that this is a game type where they can be much more competitive than what we just saw. B gets flipped into their hands, the overshield's coming up as well. TriPPPeY wins an important battle at the back of B. That means you can turn this one over. Not too much pressure going to be coming in. As you can see, the C9 have lost a lot of members. Optic Gaming will be scoring once more. AB in their hands.
Great dancing there from TriPPPeY to avoid all the nades. He repulses up to avoid even more nades as well. He is the commander of back B, and because of that, Optic Gaming will continue scoring. Contested now, though. Oh, God, Bound does not waste any time. And he hits a double on APG on the sandbags as well.
I swear to God, sometimes Bound's playing on mouse and keyboard, and everyone else is playing on controller. The way that he whips that sniper rifle around corners is just something not many players can do. APG peeked for a second. And if you peek against Bound, usually it doesn't end too well.
Bound eventually taken down there. It's 2 dead, but it's still map control and control of the scoreboard for the side of Cloud9. They're all spawning up here in the house. Let's go ahead and get ready for an Astro listening with C9, see if they can regain control.
Side of dead man. Big cut coming down. Big cut coming down. Yeah. Up Braden. Left Braden. Two there. Bound. 2 outbounds in.
Watch out, Ariana with Obi. Dead.
Nice.
Yo, some people do me.
Can we get that Obi? There's a guy B.
I'm Spalder.
Go for C. Go for C.
I shot one.
Let's go see without him. You could have green gun here.
Go make cut.
I'm looking. Yeah, one second. Elbow, guys.
That's actually elbow.
Back mother number. Watch out,
I'm here.
Watch out, back
Nest. 2 nest. 1 big one.
2 nest.
That's weak. One shot in B.
One shot nest. One shot nest.
One shot C-box. Guys, going pillars. He ran pillars. He's nest shot. Pillars and nest.
Nest was weak.
Pillars. Formal.
He's weak in B. One shot in B.
Where's Formal at?
He's B. One shot. Alright,
I'm going help Zane.
Big door to B.
Coming help Zane. Nade behind you, Zane.
2 dead.
Is he behind you, Zane?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's in B somewhere. I don't know. He's not here. No one here.
Okay.
Stop out, Lucid.
Keep holding down. Big door.
They're going left.
Hot mid weak. 2 shot to your left.
Big door, APG. One shot keto. Two big door.
I'm looking if they go B.
Maybe. I thought so bad.
Look at pillar door.
One shot mid-cut. 2 shot mid-cut. He's gonna have to
Yo,
Maybe this guy.
Wait,
Almost gonna be C. He's a bit rat tunnel.
I thought it was
I
weak.
can look right tunnel. I can look at this.
Go key door.
Yeah, I'm sitting B.
Jump back into the game as Eco falls from the skies onto the shoulder of APG. As Optic try and fight their way back into this game, but it's been a great little rally coming in from Cloud9. The communication, the intensity is there. The question is, will it be the same from Optic? Let's jump into an Astro listening and find out.
I'm here.
Everything's going good.
Window.
So back window. Weak back window. So I have
Right here. He's got a repulse as well.
He's one shot.
Next guy, two guys.
Two hit.
I'm capping guys.
One shot.
Let's go with pillars.
Let's go.
Okay.
Might go bottom center.
That's
We don't know.
Tower, hold tower.
Yes. We have Obi.
Big guys.
Hold tower.
Tommy, 0 west. On me.
There you go.
Absolute tower.
Nice. We got a pick here.
Get Tommy.
I'm walking
What are we playing for?
this.
We're pushing C.
Yes.
We are pushing that.
Three here.
Nice. 2 down, guys. 2.
Go B.
We gotta make sure we touch. We gotta play for B. Brad's here.
He's still scamming away.
You got that?
Yo, I push this, guys. I'm hitting bottom mid.
I can
They're gonna spawn behind us. They're gonna spawn behind us, maybe.
Hold then. Alright. I'm holding.
Yeah, we're good actually.
They might hit big door here. Watch it.
Watch it. We need more help. Look at A5, guys. They're going key door, I think.
Make sure we're top tower.
I'm gonna go have tower sign.
Be sure they're going in this still.
Hear that?
Just find info. That could be bottom. Bottom is open, guys.
Yo, big mud.
They're gonna hit green. They're hitting green, 2 of them.
Hear that.
We might have to play for A.
Doing it. No, man. Yeah, one guy screen. One guy screen.
Side of it.
Yeah, we just gotta live, guys.
Yo, Scott's free kill.
Guns,
I dash A flat. Top mid, vent, bottom mid. Two bottom mid.
There's no way Formal just hit that. Absolutely perfect time to jump back into the game. Formal takes 2 players out on his own. C9 2 in the death screen, but not without turning the score back into their favor here. It is a slender 5-point lead. But with these kills, Optic have the chance to play on A now.
They do here. They're playing on A and they're playing on B here. It could be a trip cap if everything goes their way. They secure A off the kills. B will be reset in the end, but still 2 dead for Cloud9. It's a 2v2 on the map.
Formal sat at 12 and 9 at the moment to put these weapons to use for Optic Gaming. The lead back into the hands of the green wall. And with the ends being held, A and C, Formal's just got a job to do here, and that's just hold down one of these strongholds. Brown, though, sneaking around the corner. Oh, Formal sneaking around the back.
Look at that angle that Formal plays. Bound had no idea he was in the window. And Formal doesn't even have to work too hard. A beautiful, crafty back whack to maintain control. The house belongs to Formal.
Optic about to cross that 200-point mark. It is ever since those kills came in for the man on your screen. That little double kill, the weapons in the hands of Optic Gaming. C9 haven't been able to get back into this. Another overshield goes to Optic as well, and this is looking very good for the Optic fans.
And unsurprisingly, the Let's Go Optic chant rings through the arena here in Seattle. 3v3 on the map, but it's 211 to 168. Optic less than 40 points away from closing out game number 3.
Brown gets picked off as well. It's Eco this time, sat 6 and 14, who's not having the best of games for Cloud9. And when all of the Optic Gaming members are playing so well at the moment, you can't afford to have an off game. APG, he takes down 1. Lucid cleans up the damage. Bound left on his own, and Optic are closing in on a 3-0 lead here in our reset from the grand finals.
My God, only a 5-kill or so lead in the slaying department, but that is not the case on the scoreboard. Optic Gaming completely outclassing Cloud9 in the late game. That's 3 dead. Optic Gaming here at 235 to 168. They will continue scoring on the BC hold.
One last push for Cloud9. If they don't win this fight, it will be game over. 3-0 the series lead for Optic. But StelluR gets a pick. Formal has work to do. He's being chased down by numerous members here from Cloud9. Somehow he's still alive. But at the last second, C9 inside. APG sends him out though. Can they get the conversion? It's APG in a 1v1 for the ages. StelluR's there as well. And it looks like Cloud9 have managed to momentarily get scoring on their hands.
But here we go now. BC, look at this. That's going to be it. C will get converted the last second now. Optic will continue scoring, and they will finish the game.
Absolute carnage in front of that tower. But from chaos comes a win for Optic Gaming. The series stands at 3-0. They are 1 game away from claiming the Halo World Championship trophy.
Once again, it's a huge late game run for Optic Gaming, and you can almost see it in TriPPPeY's face. 1 game away from the World Championship trophy and $400,000 first place prize. The late game composure once again is brilliant from Optic Gaming, even though we saw a huge lead early on for Cloud9. Optic Gaming answer back. They answer back in a big way, and these guys started putting on a show.
Once again, it's just a great illustration of how important it is to not only get the weapons, but put the damn thing to use. Optic in that final run, Formal. Couple of no-scopes, couple of headshots. The heat wave running back and forth between those strongholds. You're always going to win those individual battles. But the carnage that ensued in that final moment, this play, by the way, from Formal was about as sneaky as you like. Just meant that Cloud9 could not answer back.
And for the killing spree as well there, Formal making it look easy. And Absolutely great control in this fight. Look at the jump from Formal, by the way. Formal gets in to buy extra time, which causes absolute carnage to this APG. In the late game, you're going to see him. They're not even looking at him. He repulses out StelluR as well. Beautiful work here from APG on the pillars. He's going to stay alive as long as he needs to. Long enough for TriPPPeY to come in and help finish the point. That is what they needed to secure it at the last second. Look, TriPPPeY will fall as well. Actually, I think he gets the kill there on the rail. And they close it out, 250 to 173. We had all eyes on TriPPPeY coming into the series. He just went 21 and 15 yet again. They are settling for nothing less than a world championship so far, and they're one game away.
I really hope that we can package up that replay from APG and show it to anyone who says stats are the only thing that matter. Yeah. Because that is the perfect example of why the intangibles cannot be shown in that stat screen. APG and Pznguin are player matchup, but I gotta be honest with you, the story's bigger than this. It's bigger than these two players, because this could be the final game of the Halo World Championships. Optic Gaming, if they win this, they win the whole thing.
My God, Cloud9 backs against the wall. They will need to win the next 4 games if they want to steal the Halo World Championship from Optic Gaming. And right now, that looks like an impossible task.
3 dead for Optic off the rip, though. This is a game type where Cloud9 have had some success in the past. Optic also, of course, won the North American Super on this game time with that crazy last-minute end. SVG trying to survive. Pznguin threads the needle with the rockets, though. Power weapons in the hand of C9. I think that's just going to calm things down for them a little bit here.
Oh boy, speaking of wanting to calm things down, not so fast as Optic Gaming. They just caused absolute carnage there on the rail, so very few points on the board early on for the side of Cloud9.
Trade coming in. Optic still in the numerical disadvantage on the map. You see Lucid and Formal. 2 players down. TriPPPeY now last alive. Great hold this early on from Cloud9. They're just commanding this balcony position. StelluR doing some great damage. I mean, Lucid just come off spawn there and already has to wait that extra 2-3 seconds with those shields coming back before he can really think about getting across the map.
Absolutely, Lucid trying to actually push here just up the middle. Eventually will be slowed down by the grenades. Lucid is your last player alive. 3 dead for Optic Gaming.
Still trying to poke out, still trying to cause some problems, Lucid. You can see the Bound is hunting him down. StelluR's going to be able to clean him up. That's going to be a turnover of the Bulldog, I believe, as well. You see the ping already coming in from Cloud9. Weapons not only in their hands, but the kills going alongside them as well. At the moment, Cloud9 have somehow rallied. This has been almost a perfect hill for them. TriPPPeY hasn't even got a kill yet.
TriPPPeY doesn't have a kill, and Cloud9 is outslaying Optic Gaming 16-5 right now. Talk about a hot start to your game 4 when you have to win every single game in the series. Cloud9 now 16-6. I mean, this is the kind of tempo you need to set if you want to go on a big run.
We're inside of that next hill as well. The tram hill locked down by Cloud9. Maybe that's the key they were looking for to unlock this door. However, the kill from TriPPPeY on those B stairs just to get the Bulldog back in their hand. A couple of kills are exchanged though. Bound picks up a double elsewhere on the map. And that means StelluR gets another set of rockets, 2 in a row now for C9.
Their big power rip and control coming in. StelluR stays alive off the first rocket as well. Maybe even gets another boom block from APG. Oh my God. A perfect boom block with the drop shield will keep him full shields on this push.
Bound, oh my God, how did he win that one? Formal now versus Pznguin, and C9 seems to be winning the 1v1s all of a sudden. TriPPPeY still alive at the back of the base. It's 2v2 on the map at the moment, but Eco is looking to challenge. Lucid picks up 2 kills elsewhere. That means that TriPPPeY's got to slow down for just a second here, and you can see how he's valuing these weapons as well. Doesn't want to give the Stalker and the Bulldog over to C9.
Beautiful play from Eco. Eco has a challenge from front seat. Bound hits the pizza jump to finish the kill on Commando. It's these little plays that C9 is stringing together that has them in the lead right now. Still 2 dead for Optic Gaming.
Difficulty here on this break for Optic as well is, yeah, you want to challenge mid-map, but you're going to go up against Bound with a Stalker rifle. 2 shots, you're no shields. 3 shots, you're dead. It's as simple as that. This weapon is so powerful when you're holding down this hill, but so it's a push. When it's coordinated so well from Optic, 2 dead on either side.
Look at this now. Formal has to work alongside TriPPPeY to lock this down. He knows the pressure's coming. Gets a perfect grenade on the Commando, so Formal will live to tell the tale. All 4 players on driveway and Commando for C9.
This is just a distraction. You can see there is still a player alive. I think called the Commando may have been eliminated. Eco might be the player causing problems elsewhere. He takes out TriPPPeY. Formal with that Stalker is going to take another one down himself. Eco's still alive somewhere. And you can see Optic are trying to hunt it down. They cannot find him.
Eco just being, as you say, an absolute nuisance. Right now, might get pinched in the end. Still alive. Down here, he must be alive just below on the ATM.
He needs to find Eco when you're finding headshots onto Pznguin. Finally, Eco appears, and finally, Formal takes him down. StelluR now going to be eliminated as well. It's 4 dead for Cloud9. Optic Gaming holding this tram down. And you can see this might be the opportunity for them not only to get that point on the board, to level things up, but also get the rockets. That's exactly what they do. 2 in the chamber, 2 kills, going in the favor of Lucid.
Look at this now, just continuing to score and getting more ahead of the game. As you say, they tie it up in terms of hills, but off the back of those kills, they get full map control. It is another 3 dead for Cloud9. Optic Gaming starting to heat up here in game number 4.
Cloud9 against Sandbox right now. Every single fight they're running into. No battle rifles to be seen. It's a Stalker, it's a Bulldog. It's rockets in the hands of Lucid. It's so difficult to fight out of these situations if you're C9, but Optic taking advantage of every opportunity presented to them.
Questions were asked of Lucid in that first series. He now leads the game in kills by quite a margin. He's 11-8. Optic Gaming still with a lead here on this 3rd hill as well.
Scary moment here for C9 if they don't manage to break this hill. We know how it transfers over to that cafe hill. So close, not too much distance to travel. If you can pick up those kills and you can win this hill, you can transition so quickly with a great setup. But for now, C9 looks to have broken. The first time they put their toes in the hill, and you can see the last 2 players from Optic recognize they don't have map control enough to push.
Those were very, very important kills in the back of PD from Cloud9. They did not trade the kills out. They went 2 for 0. That is what led to this control here on the back statue. Pznguin now sitting here on Neon, so you can tell Optic Gaming is waiting for a timing push.
Pznguin gets the information, smartly backs down as well, but here comes the push from Optic. 2 players do fall though, so Pznguin doing enough damage for a kill to be traded out. Bound now turning his attention towards the arcade. TriPPPeY taken down to no shields, but survives for now, and by doing so allows the rest of Optic to just flood in towards that hill. A clean break now. Cloud9, 3 members dead, and Optic with a chance to win the point.
A clean break, perfect baiting and switching from the entire Optic Gaming roster there. TriPPPeY goes up on plants, does a bunch of damage, and then escapes with his live Formal with a double kill Stalker Bulldog combo. You do not want Formal with this combination if you are on the Cloud9 side of the stage.
It could not have happened, that kill, that double kill, at a worse time here for Cloud9. Not only do Optic get that point to go into the lead, they get the rockets, and TriPPPeY! He goes to work!
Look at the value that they get from that double kill from Formal. Just like you said, they also get the rockets. TriPPPeY somehow turns 2 rockets into 3 kills in the tires as well. Cloud9 is late to the party, and TriPPPeY and Optic Gaming take advantage of that.
2 dead here. Cloud9 need to find something. They need to find it quickly. They need to find the kind of form that they found in that first series. But at the moment, APG said, you've talked about form, and you've talked about TriPPPeY and Lucid. Now it's my turn to set up. He is flying at Cloud9, and he is taking everybody down.
It is 4 dead yet again for Cloud9 here. And Optic Gaming potentially on the cusp of a championship. Let's get into what could be the last Astro Gaming listen in with Optic Gaming.
They get the Brad.
Green gen.
They're gonna get nailed. They're gonna be able to contest. Nice shot. All good.
Watching now.
Nice, man.
Nice.
Nice, man.
Nice.
All right, got 2 minutes.
Listen. Let's play StelluR for just a second.
Watching row.
Yo, front side, free kill. Literally throwing front side. His benches.
Get him out of the hill. We gotta make sure we hit with they don't mill.
Nice. 2 benches, 1 trap. No, full health down.
Okay, just like guys. There's more.
I feel. Watch out.
I hear you, Brad.
Oh, you do it. You guys know. Green end, last guy.
Okay, bottom next.
Rockets, guys. Rockets are 5.
2 guys tires.
Watch rockets. Get ready to grab them.
Can't go.
Round weak.
Tires still, Joe.
Real half. My push up.
Caution. 2 guys tires. 2 guys
Rockets.
tires. Back dash to me. Back dash. Soda. Green gen right now.
We have rockets, guys.
Okay, listen. Joey has rockets.
Minute 30 left.
Nice, man. Look at that purple.
We'll jump back into the game because it's 1 minute and 30 seconds until we maybe, just maybe, will be calling Optic Gaming your Halo World Champions. It's 3-1 at the moment, and Cloud9 are getting picked apart.
And you heard the play call there from Lucid. Let's play StelluR for just a second here. I'd say they're doing it for more than just a second over these last few minutes now. Oh, and great shots from Eco there. Will be traded out for a moment. APG was your last player alive, but there's 1:19 on the clock, and Optic Gaming leads by 2 hills.
Such a difficult hill here for Cloud9 as well. The bottom middle hill, we know how difficult it is to lock down. There's so many angles that you could be attacked from, especially if Optic, like they have worked so hard to get themselves into a lead. Optic are thinking time here. C9 are thinking the opposite. We don't have time. That's our enemy, and we have to get points on the board.
2 kills for Optic here. They have the man advantage yet again. It might be 3 dead for Cloud9. Optic Gaming is going to let the time tick down on this hill without a doubt. Pznguin, last player alive.
We are within 1 minute now of Optic claiming the throne. 50 seconds. Every second that passes, you know that the 4 gentlemen who have sat on that screen, dressed in their championship Sunday whites, are getting closer and closer to a world championship. Lucid just playing StelluR at the moment. C9 2 for 2. APG last alive here for Optic. We've seen some crazy stuff this weekend, and surely we can't see C9 come back now.
Let's see what APG does here. He's going to get damage, wait for his teammates to spawn. It is still possible. Keep in mind, the clock will freeze every time the Cloud9 gets in the hill.
C9, of course, won that first hill as well. They won it without being even challenged. But at the moment, TriPPPeY says, you know what? I'm putting you all in the death screen. I'm collecting the rockets, because I want to be on my way to collect a Halo World Championship.
The rockets might be the deal breaker here. You can't get in the hill, because TriPPPeY's going to give you the boom booms.
17 seconds left in the game. TriPPPeY comes around the corner. TriPPPeY cleans house, but leaves a little bit of rubbish on the floor as Bound has to be worked on.
Pznguin's your last player alive. They're going to get this kill on front C, no doubt. 7 seconds left.
7 seconds left. The NA Super was the first step. It was this game type. Orlando was the second, and now the journey is complete. Optic Gaming, the green wall, stands tallest. As with just a few moments left.
Wait a second. You're
Wait a second.
APG's headset was off. The game isn't over yet.
There's no way.
Somehow Cloud9, now we can say it, oh my God! It's a premature celebration even on the stage for Optic Gaming. They thought it was over. C9 was in the hill the whole time. APG was shaking, he couldn't believe it. They forced a reset there in overtime for just a few extra seconds. Optic had no idea, we had no idea. And in the end, now we can say that Optic Gaming are your Halo World Champions.
I mean, we said, right, this has been the craziest week. The craziest tournament of all time. What other way would you have it end? But now that we are finally at its conclusion, Optic Gaming are your Halo World Champions!
And here they go across that stage, smiles across all 5 of them as they approach the World Championship trophy.
It's been a long, long road for these 4 guys. And just a few weeks after the first champ, Optic Gaming are now champions of the world.
What a road for these 5. And then not an easy grand final here. A grueling, grueling bracket reset for them. Losing 4 maps straight. And now, after an unbelievable grand finals reset, they will hoist the 2022 Halo World Championship trophy.
Just weeks after a first title, a first major championship. For Lucid and TriPPPeY, they become world champions. For APG, another championship. His first Halo World Champion. But for Formal, he joins what has to be one of the most historic groups in all time. And that is going to be a double world champion. Formal, what a moment for him.
And look what Optic Hex had backstage in case we needed it.
My word.
It is the Optic Gaming chain now placed on TriPPPeY and Lucid. APG as well. You got Hastro, Hex, Alumni, Optic Gaming ownership and staff coming to the stage as well, celebrating these 5 and what they have done as the confetti falls here at the Halo World Championship. It's Optic Gaming in the end, 4-0 in the reset. They will be claiming the World Championship trophy. And here it is for APG as well, Formal as well. Everyone's throwing on the Optic Gaming ice, and that has got to feel good.
I mean, what a journey it's been. What a journey it has been. I mean, just a couple of months ago, people were calling them onliners, saying they couldn't get it done on LAN. Now they have a major championship, a world championship to go alongside it. And let me tell you, APG, that smile will not leave his face for quite some time.
I mean, he cannot stop smiling. He's also, you can tell, on the verge of tears there. He's got to be shaken. And that entire team could not be happier, could not be more proud, of course, Optic fans, of what their team was able to do this weekend. Lucid will hoist it again. And talk about resilience over the last 2 hours of the grand finals. Unbelievable stuff here from Optic Gaming.
The reset from Cloud9, who played their part in this story. They sent it to a second best of 7. They pushed it all the way. And they tested every single member of Optic Gaming, but TriPPPeY and Lucid in the second best of 7 reminded us of just how good they are. That's going to do it all from Bravo and myself. It's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege. And of course, we send our congratulations down to Optic Gaming. Your Halo World Championships plays, it's down to you.